What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been too long. Hey, first of all, I would like to say thank you very much for everybody who has been commenting and liking my videos. And some of you actually reached out to me via Instagram and you ask questions, you tell me your experiences, and it's just overwhelming how many people I reach with these small videos I'm making, and I'm more than grateful to be able to help. I'm dressed like this, um, fitting the theme of the video, which is final interview. Um, Before I begin, let's talk about coronavirus. So, as you all know, it's an epidemic that is taking the world by storm, and it's been tough. It's affecting the aviation industry because people are afraid to travel, and the aviation airlines are also afraid to carry on people that may cause the spread of the disease. Some people are even afraid that they will lose their jobs in the aviation industry. So that's bad news for people like us who are trying to now enter the aviation industry, because I don't think it is any airline's priority to recruit or hire at this point in time. But you know what? I think that this pandemic, or the epidemic, both, is something that will pass very quickly. The whole world is putting in measures. At least my country is putting stuff in measures in place to make sure that we flatten the curve and stop the spread of this disease. Ghana has recorded only about 9 cases and no deaths at all. So we are in a good place, and I believe that this will be over soon. So I want to encourage you that don't stop trying, because if you stop now, then what have you gained? Don't stop trying. Work, keep on applying, keep on working on your CV, keep on researching and watching videos, and before you know it, you will get your invitation to the assessment day, and then we continue this pursuit of achieving our dreams. For those of you who know, those of you that have mentioned this to or watched my full videos know that I did the final interview with Emirates back in October 2019, and they made me wait 3 weeks. I keep telling the story, it's boring, I know, but they made me wait 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 whole months, without giving me a regret mail or my golden call, even though they called me for more, to send more photos. So I sent them a courtesy reminder, and 5 days after that, they sent me a regret mail. So that sucked. But yeah, I did the interview, the final interview, and I know most of you don't even get the opportunity to get the invitation for the assessment day. So maybe you're not interested in this video, but I think you should watch it so that you prepare yourself, because you never know. You might just get that invitation and you might just go all the way to the final interview. So today I'll be talking to you about the final interview and giving you some examples of the questions that I was asked. So first of all, let's begin. I'm a bit tired because guess what? There's a little secret. No, I'll tell you later. So first of all, the final interview is an online interview that's done on an app called HireView. It's a video interview, so it's more like a video call. The recruiter or the HR person will appear on your screen after you have clicked on the link that is sent to your email. The link will send you to HireView, but you have to listen. You have to download the app HireView and make sure that you have enough data or your Wi-Fi connection. I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by my highlighter. It's popping. Oh yeah, so you have to have HireView and everything's set, so that when you click on the link that is sent to you via email, it takes you straight to the app. You sit properly and wait until your recruiter appears on your screen. One thing you have to know is that you have to dress impeccably, almost as if you are going to meet the recruiter in person, just like I'm dressed now. perfect. You can't tell me nothing. My watch is not working, but it looks good. Your hair laid, everything. Yes, about hair. I've gotten some questions about whether to wear a weave, a wig, especially for the African girls with afro hair, or you have to relax your hair. I would have to make a video about it, but in the meantime, I think that I don't look bad with this on top of my head. It's a wig. We talk about that later. So you're supposed to dress perfectly as though you were going to meet the recruiter in person. I remember during my final interview, I even wore stockings and wore shoes, even though the recruiter was only going to see this part of my body. This red, scrunchy, it's not a bad idea. It kind of gives the vibe that, yeah, Emirates vibe. Yeah, don't forget your red lipstick. Your nails should be done. Everything on point. So the recruiter will appear on your screen. You exchange pleasantries. Make sure you're ready. The recruiter will appear about 10 minutes after you have logged into the app. So I remember I sat up straight the whole time. I was smiling the whole time, even though no recruiter had appeared. I was still smiling because you don't know when that recruiter will pop up. And if she is mostly a female, because this is a female dominated industry, cabin crew, if she appeared at any time and I was just sitting there sluggishly or I was yawning or something, it wouldn't have been a good impression. So I was ready. Anytime she appeared, I was like this, ready. So we exchanged pleasantries and then we started talking. The interview takes about an hour, or 45 minutes to an hour. And I gotta tell you the truth, about 20 minutes or 30 minutes of that 45 or 1 hour interview were questions that were based on your previous work experience. So this is where I start to give you the advice. I would encourage you to write down at least 10 different stories from your work experiences. Now, these stories don't have to be so grand or theatrical or unbelievable, but they have to be interesting and they have to be believable. So, the closer to the truth they are, the stories are, the better for you. So yeah, I'm here to share my experience and also to tell you the mistakes I made, because apparently I must have done something wrong at the final interview and that's why I didn't get the job. But then, you know what, you never know, maybe it was because of my passport, because I'm Ghanaian, and maybe they weren't particularly looking for a Ghanaian at the moment. But whatever it was, I think we can always better ourselves. So one thing I didn't do was to prepare all the stories in mind. I prepared just a couple of stories because I thought it was going to be more about my personality and about my eloquence or intelligence, but no, those things matter, but preparing these stories are important because, for instance, they ask questions that are similar but are not the same. For instance, they asked me, when was the last time I went out of my way for a customer? And I answered, I can't give you the answer because my work experience is not the same as yours. So if you came here looking for what we call apport in Ghana, where you know the answers to the questions to the exam, no. I'm going to give you just a few examples of questions they will ask, but it will give you an idea of how it is, and then you can prepare yourself because you have to tailor your experience to yourself and not to me. So yes, if they ask you a question like that and you answer, the next question will be, so when was the last time that a customer made you angry or something like that? You see, they are similar and they are both related to a customer, but you can't tell the same story twice. So you have to be able to have your stories at the back of your head. So my problem was that even though I had some experience, I didn't prepare the story. So when they were asked a similar question like that, I had to come up with a story. And even though these stories were inspired by the truth, they weren't entirely the truth. Because truth of the matter is some of us go to work and we just go through the day. Nothing really special happens, and then we come back home. So not a lot of us have, any interesting stories to tell. But the truth of the matter is that you have to have these kind of stories prepared, whether they are the truth or not. But you have to prepare them and practice them so much that it sounds like the truth. So even though I had these experiences, they weren't tailored to those questions. So I would have to come up with interesting points to tell the recruiter. And I feel like the recruiter noticed that I was conjuring these stories from the skies, because I remember sometimes I would look up and look down at my CV to see which work experience I should talk about. And these things are not good, because even though the recruiter is not right in front of you, the recruiter is on the phone, and it would be nice if you looked at her. And during the interview, the recruiter will be typing. She'll be typing your answers. So even though she's typing, she can look up at any time, and you shouldn't be caught. You shouldn't be caught. You should not be caught unfresh, because if she's typing and goes like and looks at you, and you're sitting there like no, you have to be poised, smiling still, so that when she says okay, and so what happened, then you continue your story. So I remember that I was telling the truth. I was telling half truths, and it didn't. I guess some of them just didn't stick well with the recruiter. So I guess that's where I went wrong. So point number one: write down at least 10 work experiences, stories that you can tell. Yeah. So and make sure that you dress impeccably to impress. Dress to impress. Dress the way you want to be addressed. So I'm gonna just mention some few questions that you can expect at the final interview. Also, one thing you have to know is that the whole recruitment process has changed a bit. Apparently, when recruitment stopped somewhere in 2016 and then they started in 2018, they started with this process where after you have applied, you're given an email that has a link for you to do a digital interview. So this digital interview is not with a recruiter, it's with a computer, but your answers are recorded. It's video recorded. So even though the questions will pop up on your screen, you have to answer verbally whilst being recorded. So these questions are similar to questions that you get from the final interview. So yes, these questions too will help. So there are questions like, how would your previous work experience be beneficial to your role as cabin crew? Think about that. What motivated you to apply for the role of cabin crew with Emirates? With a question like that, it's a combination of why you want to be cabin crew and why you want to work with Emirates. And those are different questions as well. They could ask either of them or merge them together, like the question I just mentioned. So prepare your answer for that. What is your idea of a good customer service? Yes. When was the last time you went out of your way to help a customer? When was the last time you were able to achieve a goal at your workplace? What is your favorite job you've done and why? What was a major challenge you faced at your workplace? When were you able to give good advice to a co-worker? When were you able to work in a team to achieve a goal? Do you know what to expect when you become cabin crew? What are some of the challenges you think you face when you become cabin crew? Are you willing to relocate to Dubai? What kind of lifestyle do you think you'd have in Dubai, or like something surrounding what goes on in Dubai? Like, you have to learn You have to research about Dubai, the UAE. Some people think that Dubai is the country. No, sis. Dubai is a city in the UAE, United Arab Emirates. That's UAE, which has the capital called Abu Dhabi. But Dubai is a very big city in the UAE, and it's a tourist destination. That's why it's so popular, more popular than Abu Dhabi. Talking about Abu Dhabi, that's the home of Etihad Airways. Etihad is also a very good airline. So for those of you who are trying Qatar and Emirates and you don't know about Etihad, research about Etihad as well. I think it's also a very good airline that you could work with. But we are talking about Emirates. So yeah, questions like those. And they asked me if it will be a problem to resign. No, they asked me about my current job and if it's going to be a problem if I resign and stuff like that. I said, no, it's a part-time job, blah, blah, blah. And I thought that would make them feel like, okay, now we can just hire the girl. No, I think that you should make yourself look like you are valuable to whichever company you work now, but you prefer and it's your goal to work with Emirates, and so you'll be willing to quit your job for Emirates. Okay, don't make it look like you have nothing doing and so Emirates should hire you. So I remember that I was given these work experiences, but they were all surrounding a particular job that I had done, which was an office job. And the office and the airplane are two different areas. So I realized that I was given too many experiences from there, so I had to broaden up. So I've been in pageants, so I decided to give some pageant experience. Actually, the recruiter encouraged me to because she saw in my CV that I'd been in pageants. So if you've done any extracurricular or extra work outside of the typical work area, if you've done anything like pageants, like sports, you could tell experiences from that because these things have you working with other people, working in a team, so they are interesting too. Yeah, so for people that live outside of Africa, you have experiences with skydiving, with skiing, with all of those good stuff. You can add that. You can add such experiences to make your interview more interested. But if you live a boring life like mine, well, you have to make up the experiences but make them believable. Yeah, that's basically it. I've listed quite a number of questions there, and I've also mentioned some of the things you have to do, dressing up, preparing your answers before time, being poised and smiling all the time. So I hope that these few tips will help you. And yes, my next video is going to be about African natural hair, how to dress it up when you're going for an open day or an assessment day, and so on and so forth. And yeah, I have reapplied for Emirates, and I've already gotten my invitation. So I will take you on that journey with me when I'm going. However, coronavirus is being an impediment, and so they've postponed that assessment day, but they haven't given us a date yet. But I'm sure it's gonna be soon because I believe that this brouhaha of an epidemic will pass by very soon. So you guys stay safe, wash your hands as frequently as possible, get yourself some hand sanitizers, and just be safe out there. Okay, I love you, and see you in my next video.